Hi, besties. Welcome back to my podcast, Mental Health Conversation with Caro, and I'm your host, Caroline Kihiko. If this is your first time here, I want you to know that this podcast exists to raise awareness, break stigma, and create safe spaces for mental health conversation. And if you are a returning listener, thank you so much for being here. We are going to talk about a very important topic, a topic that's so dear to my heart. We are going to talk about anxiety, what anxiety is, how it feels to live with anxiety from a personal perspective, and ways that we can learn to cope with anxiety using healthier and kinder tips. This episode is not about diagnosing anyone, it's about understanding, it's about awareness, and it's about letting you know that if you struggle with anxiety, you are not alone. Let's dive into our first segment. What is anxiety? Anxiety is one of the most common mental health disorder that affects so many people in the world, yet many people don't understand what anxiety is. Most people think anxiety is simply worrying too much, it's being dramatic, it's lacking faith in God, it's not being confident enough, but I can assure you anxiety is a much and more complex topic than that. Anxiety is your mind and body constantly feeling like something is wrong, even when there is nothing wrong that is happening. It's your nervous system always being stuck in survival mode. It's your thoughts racing ahead to worst case scenarios. It's your body reacting as if there is danger around you even when there is no. Anxiety doesn't always make sense to people, and that is what makes it more frustrating. You can logically know that I am safe here and where I am, but your body and mind doesn't feel safe in any way. Now, most people ask themselves, how does it feel like struggling with anxiety and living with it? Living with anxiety is very exhausting and frustrating. It feels like your mind never rests. It's like there is always something to worry about, even when there is no danger. It's always overthinking. It's always replaying any conversation. It's always overanalyzing any situation so that you can protect yourself from any danger. For some people, anxiety feels like having a tight chest, experiencing a racing heart, having trouble while sleeping, living in constant tension, experiencing shortness of breath at times. In matters of emotions, anxiety feels like having some type of fear that never goes away, having an aspect of self doubt always, overthinking every interaction. It's always feeling on the edge all the time in your life. It's always expecting that something will go bad. Even when a situation seems so good, your anxiety tells you that what if something bad happens? Now, I want to share with you a personal experience with anxiety. Anxiety is a disorder that I have struggled with it for the longest time in my life. It hasn't been an easy journey, I can't lie. It's the hardest and the most frustrating thing you can ever deal with. The reason being, anxiety is invisible. You can laugh, you can smile, you can interact with your friends, but deep inside, you are worried, your body is full of tension, and you are always falling apart. In my life, having anxiety and living with it takes over my thought most of time. I overthink everything, even the smallest detail. I overthink it. Even making small decision feels like it's very difficult for me. I always imagine the worst case scenario happening to me. Let me give you a real example. For instance, I can be crossing down a busy road. I have already checked left and right and everything is all clear. But my anxiety starts to tell me, what if a car comes from nowhere and knocks you down? So it feels so hard for me to cross the road. I have to wait until my mind and body feel safe. There are times when my body feels tense for no reason. There's times when making decision feels so overwhelming. There are times when I feel tired and exhausted, but I can't rest because my mind and body are still running. For a long time, I never thought that this was anxiety. I just thought that I'm a softie, I'm weak, it's just overthinking, I'm not strong enough. But one thing that has really worked for me is learning to name it. This has really helped me because I no longer blame myself because I did not choose to be like this. Also, throughout my journey, I have learned that there are things that makes your anxiety worse. When you constantly shame yourself for feeling anxious, when you constantly tell yourself down and there is something wrong with you, when you push yourself even when you are exhausted, you make your anxiety worse. Now I want to share healthy ways that I use to cope with anxiety. First thing I can say is coping with anxiety doesn't mean that you eliminate anxiety fully. It's just a way of learning how to live it in a healthier manner that it doesn't affect how you carry your day-to-day life. First thing I do is acknowledge it. Instead of always fighting, I always admit to myself I have anxiety and I'm experiencing anxious thought and I'm going to be okay, and this anxiety doesn't define me. The second thing I do is grounding myself. Anxiety normally gives you so much worry for the future, but when you find a way to bring yourself to the present, it makes you cope with your anxiety very well. The next thing I do is prioritize rest. Anytime my body and mind feels exhausted, I try as much as possible to prioritize rest and doing what my body need. I try to listen to my body. If I feel tired and I don't want to do anything, I try as much as possible to listen to that. If I need to take a walk to clear my mind, that's what I basically do. Another way that you can use to cope with anxiety is being kind to yourself. It's okay to always remind yourself that there is nothing wrong with you and that anxiety doesn't define you. Extend kindness and grace to yourself, and in the end, it makes it much easier to cope. The next thing I do is talk about it. You can share your anxious thought with your friends. The professional vulnerability is not weakness, it is strength. Ability to seek help anytime you are struggling. Let no one shame you for that. You are stronger than you think. Lastly, I have a message to anyone who struggle with anxiety. If you are there and you struggle with anxiety, always remember you are not alone, you are not broken. Your feelings and emotions are varied. Your experience matter. Anxiety doesn't define you. It's just something you experience and not who you are. Healing always takes time. Be gentle with yourself. Learning how to cope takes patience, and you deserve compassion and everything through it all. Thank you so much for being with me as we discuss anxiety. It's been nice. Thank you so much for listening to my podcast. If this episode resonated with you, I hope that you know that you're not alone. We are together in this, and it's okay not to be okay. It's okay to seek help when need be. It's okay to be vulnerable. It's okay to seek professional support from a therapist. It will make your life much easier. Until next time, take care of your mind, be gentle with yourself, and always remember you are just human. Until next time, bye. This has been Mental Health Conversation with Caro.